Everyone wants to know, how can you unlock the full capability of this unit and bump it up to 2000 or 3000 watts? Well, here you go. If you tap on the 800 watt limit. Okay, are you ready for some actual testing? Let's see how these two units actually compare. So in the black corner, we have the new AC5000, and in the white corner, we have the Stream Ultra X. Just to help me remember which cable is which, if you haven't seen part one of this video, go back and watch it. 20-minute introduction. It shows you why these cables are different, and it points out some of the obvious and immediate differences between these two units. So let's get into it. Let's plug it in, get the app open, show you what it can do. Also in this video, I've got the thermal imaging camera, so we're going to try probably charging the units, give it an hour or two, and then measure it with the thermal imaging camera. See if the claims of EcoFlow really stack up with the new AC5000. Is it really 46% or whatever it was, more thermally efficient? Okay, less waffle, more doing. If you're intrigued by all things plug-in and DIY solar, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've tested 5 different EcoFlow devices here in my own home over the last year, and I'm starting to accept other products from manufacturers like Zendor and Anker and DJI, so that we can compare them all and really try and figure out who are the market leaders. Now, first things first, I want to talk about linking these two units together, because a lot of people presumed that because there's no parallel link connector on this, and because this plug on here for the grid is slightly different between the units, people have jumped to the conclusion that you can't use these two together. Now, that's incorrect, and there are several ways that you can link these together. So EcoFlow call it distributed mode. In the UK, it looks like in time, the regulation will probably come so that you'll be able to put one of these units on your downstairs ring main and one of these units on your upstairs ring main, for example. There are also other ways that these could be wired into different fuse spurs, for example, on different circuits. But what I'm going to show you is the real simple and easy way. Not complicated at all. So this is the original Stream Ultra X, and I'm going to plug that into the wall like that. Okay, so this is now on my downstairs ring main. I can hear the relay just click, so that's turned on. And guess what? I'm going to plug this into here, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this into here. And now this unit is connected to this unit, which is connected to the mains. And I just heard the relay click in this. So this is called an AC coupled system. So yes, there are some conversion losses. If you buy the official expansion batteries for this, those are DC coupled. Higher efficiency and less loss in the system in conversion. Now I've got 3.8 kilowatt hours of battery storage and 5 kilowatt hours of battery storage, all connected into the mains via that one 3-pin plug. And at the moment, the output is capped at 800 watts. So shall we have a little look in the app and see what that all looks like? Oh, and of course, the way that I've wired it, you could do it the other way around. You could put the plug from the old Stream series into the AC plug that is on the new series. The reason I've done it this way is I'm trying to simulate, loads of you have had these professionally installed, dedicated circuits. And so you don't have a 3-pin plug on the end of your cable that connects this in. And you might want to upgrade to one of these units. And of course, that would require an electrician decommissioning the old cable, installing this cable. And if you just wanted to get set up and running on the first day, just whack a 3-pin plug on this cable and just plug it into one of your existing units. Whether it's a Stream Ultra, Stream Ultra X like this one, or a Stream AC Pro, all of them are capable. The inverters on all of these units are bi-directional inverters, so they can both draw power from the grid and they can push power and energy back into the grid, or just your home circuit, depending on how you've got it configured. The setup procedure looks much the same as I remember it being previously. So simple, so easy. A couple of button presses, loading your Wi-Fi details, and then it will search for a firmware update, which this new Stream device did need already, and it downloads that quickly, it installs it quickly, and it restarts. No hassle. So I'm going to start by whacking over to the space, and you can see straight away I have here in the Stream System 0019, I have the Stream AC5000. I don't know if you can get it, alongside the 27% there's a Bluetooth and a Wi-Fi logo that are lit up here as well. So you've got little indicator lights to let you know that it is connected wirelessly as well. Into the options of the AC Stream then. So if we go into settings, of course we can rename the device. I've got the display brightness set on maximum, AC port standby time, and you can configure that however you please. We have X boost and UPS. So if you tap on the question mark, then it will explain what those functions are. So slightly different animation, for example. If I pop back over to home, you can see it looks a little bit different. But what they've done on the new system is that they are streamlining the things that people went to most often and most quickly, the things that they moved to. So here we go. This is one of the big questions that people are asking. If we tap into energy management, we can then have a look. You've got battery management. Charge limit cannot be lower than 50%. Charge limit up to 100%, and discharge limit, the minimum is 30, but then we can maximize it and go full 100% depth of discharge. So you can access the full 5 kilowatt hours of battery storage on this new unit. You can also select a backup reserve if you would like to, and that is in line with the previous Stream series. Everyone wants to know, how can you unlock the full capability of this unit and bump it up to 2000 or 3000 watts? Well, here you go. If you tap on the 800 watt limit and then you press request to change the power limit, and we can pop this, for example, up to 3000. And here it tells us that power change requests below 2600 require a signature, and power change requests of over 2600 watts require the authentication code from the installer. So if we set this to 2600 watts and request to change the power limit, it will push us towards an installer, and it will tell us contact an installer, and then an installer will give us an unlock code. They will come and verify that this is installed correctly. Everything is perfectly adequate and safe to operate at that level. If we're just aiming for the 2500 watts, for example, let's click on request to change the power limit. And here we go. We can just self-confirm all of these things. And that is installation, wiring, commissioning, any necessary inspections have been completed by a qualified professional electrician. I confirm that a qualified professional electrician has verified that the wire and protective devices in the entire system have sufficient capacity and comply with applicable electrical standards. I confirm that I will complete any required filing, registration, approval or permitting procedures in accordance with applicable local laws and regulations. I confirm that I have read and understood the above safety and will only request and use the power change feature when the relevant conditions are met. I acknowledge that failure to complete the above steps may result in serious consequences, non-compliance with local regulations and risk of electrical fire. So I can't confirm all of those things because it's not true. So I'm not going to apply for that. But as you can see, this potentially can be unlocked by 2500 watts just on your say so, with a little bit of a squiggle and a submission, and then this gets sent through to EcoFlow, who then check everything their end. So I'm going to cancel out of that. I don't know how much of this you're going to see, but I have been round and round in circles on this app trying to get them to connect into the same space so that they both work nicely together. If they're not together in the same space, then my smart meter is only operating for half of the system. So I need to I need to have a chat with EcoFlow, don't I? Is that coming in an app update? What am I missing? The surplus solar allocation, for example, can be used with one of these Shelly smart plugs. This is EcoFlow branded, but EcoFlow Shelly smart plug. And then you can get this to be activated when there is any excess solar. And I could utilize this for charging portable power stations as more extra battery overflow. I could have my AC unit plugged into this and just get it set up to make the most of the energy without sending it back to the grid. Because especially if you are not getting paid, then you probably want to make all the watts work for you. The ambient air temperature is 23.8 degrees in this room. It's currently showing that although this has just been sat here kind of on standby, it's showing the heatsink there at 37 degrees and 33 degrees on the case there. Okay, so that gives us a bit of a baseline to work with, and apologies about my dodgy camera work as always. I'm going to set this to charge at 1200 watts. We're going to start it at 1:30 p.m. and then we're going to finish the test at 2:30 p.m. 1200 watts for 1 hour. And you may be interested to know, if you're setting up custom modes and strategies like I do, if I press on charge and we have the charging source solar only or solar plus grid, and then of course timer, and then we can set a charging power at 100 watt increments, so 1200 watts for us. Press the tick and then charge limit up to 100, and then we can select whether we want it to repeat. So for now, I'm just going to turn the repeat off. This is just going to be a one-time thing. So let's go. It's 1 hour later and we have been charging at a consistent 1200 watts. And as you can see, there is now quite a contrast. We have basically increased the temperature of this device by about 10 degrees. So we are center of the measuring is 46 degrees, maximum 49, minimum down at 30 degrees. And it hasn't radiated through into the rest of the aluminium housing as well as I presumed it might do, but I'm sure if we were charging for several hours that would be more of the case. But the heatsink is doing its job. It is efficiently dissipating the heat. So the next thing to do is plug the old unit in down there and run the same test and see what that looks like. We can also see that that plug socket is a little bit warm as well. What are we at? 33 degrees. So still not really warm to the touch, but that's what 1200 watts does consistently for 1 hour. It's now 2:40. I've just set up in the app with the Stream Ultra X to charge at 1.2 kilowatts. And here you go as the baseline of thermal imaging. We can see that the maximum is over here at 30 degrees. And we're going to give this an hour of 1200 watts. And the ambient temperature in the room is now 24.2 degrees. Quick side note that the hour of charging, it was a couple of minutes more than an hour, took the battery percentage, the state of charge, from 26% up to 50% on the new AC5000. 1 hour later, now it is showing a maximum of 57 degrees, minimum of 32 degrees. Not much of a surprise. You let me know in the comments what you think, the comparison in the thermal performance between the old Ultra X and the AC5000, just charging through AC at 1200 watts. If you're intrigued by all things plug-in and DIY solar, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've tested 5 different EcoFlow devices here in my own home over the last year, and I'm starting to accept other products from manufacturers like Zendor and Anker and DJI so that we can compare them all and really try and figure out who are the market leaders.